Mr. Scissor. Man called Scissza. Mr. Scissor.
2, 3, let's go.
Back with another episode of Man Called SCIZZA. We're here with Man Called Yoshi. You know, this time we're not in our usual setting, which is the bus. Instead, we came straight to Cuts for Sale. And we're gonna talk to the man himself in the shop he created from scratch, the brand he's created from scratch, and we're gonna get to know him and how he got to this point.
Intimately,
you know. Sometimes, you know, no, we're not gonna even get into that. But
Not yet.
so, thank you for having me here, bro. Appreciate you coming on the podcast. I guess we'll just get into it. I'm gonna start asking these questions. You know, I want to get to the bottom of this. How
let
you
me
started?
know. We firing off questions? What are we doing?
We're gonna fire off questions slowly, but I want to get, you know, I want to get everybody to understand how things like this don't start. You don't start them and they don't just pop off. You know, you have to start from the bottom. You have to grind your way to a position like this. So I guess the first question I have is, what did you want to do for a living in high school? You know, before you ever got into barbering, before you got to this point. In high school, you know, we was distracted by all this,
Everything.
all this shit.
All the distractions.
What did you have in your head that you thought you might want to do for a living?
You know, even before high school, you're always in school when they tell you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up and things like that. That was always a hard, I guess, kind of question for me to answer because I was never really sure. It wasn't, you know, people knew I want to be a doctor, I want to be, you know, an astronaut, whatever. That was so hard for me just to make that decision at such a young age. And it kind of like almost, I don't know, it confused me how so many people were so sure of what they wanted to be, you know?
100%.
I never really knew. Coming into high school, I swear I thought I was the best basketball player ever. So that was always the thing, like, yo, I'm gonna play basketball for a living. And mind you, I did grind it out. Like,
Yeah, me too, bro.
definitely, like, practice in school, out of school, with friends, you know, like, I played a lot. But even with that, I already had a disadvantage because I grew up without my father being there, and even my father figures weren't into sports. So, you know, like a lot of people, they have like their dad put them into sports. So already kind of having
Same boat.
Exactly. So having that disadvantage, you look back now like, dang, you know, I look at like some of my cousins where their father put them into sports and found out what they liked and then focused on that and getting them better. I didn't have that, but still with our work ethic, even at a young age, I definitely got very good. So that was what I thought would be my career, you know, end goal, which is a very hard path to pursue.
That's crazy. The same for me. And like I look back now and it's like there's so many other things than like basketball. Basketball was my thing. I played league for so long. But there's so many things I look back on now that I didn't get introduced to enough.
Yeah.
Where if I did, I probably would have been really good at it.
Or maybe even having someone see you, like when I see my kid has an interest in something, I try to nitpick at it and push her to do it more, you know, like even something I was interested as a kid, I didn't have like a parental figure being like, you should do that or you should try this league. I didn't really have that. So.
Even if they don't completely excel in it, at least you provided the opportunity if they did, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'll do the same, you know, like definitely show them, like when you like something, go hard at it.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's a fine line with not, you know, you're going to be getting into this fatherhood thing shortly, but not forcing anything upon them, but seeing their interest and just like coaching them along the way, you know?
Yeah.
So, definitely, so I guess wanted the whole basketball NBA route. And that's another thing too. So what I know now compared to then, when I was a kid, all I knew was NBA or nothing. Now I see all these Euro leagues and all these different leagues and avenues you go that's still professional, but you're getting paid to play sports.
Look at the professor.
Exactly, with and one.
So there's so many outlets now, but social media did that. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
But okay, so it was basketball.
So thinking basketball, but obviously that was like that's like someone saying they want to grow up and be a superhero. This is very like hard,
Yeah.
route to go.
we didn't have anybody encouraging us either.
Exactly, you know. So I didn't really know. I was never, for sure, never wanted to be like a doctor or a lawyer. Some of these like, you know, traditional jobs. I guess that was never really an interest of me.
So I remember back to elementary school. Some people don't remember as far back as some people, but I remember in elementary school they gave us like this paper that was like, you fill out all these things that you like.
Yeah.
You know, they had like a questionnaire of all these things, and
I remember it.
you pick all the things you
And
like,
like what you're ideally to go into.
and they give you what you may like to do for a living.
Yeah.
And every time I fill these things out and it give me what I wanted to do for a living, I'd be like, it'd be cool. But as a young kid, I even knew I'd get bored of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that forever. Like, how are they kind of training my mind to think just because I like this is what I should do?
Do you remember off top like what it was directing you towards?
Honestly, I want to say it was a firefighter, bro.
I thought it would be exotic dancer.
Nah, bro, my hips don't move like that, dog.
I mean, creative minds, but I don't know if the exotic.
Swear. It would be exotic, but I don't know if it'd be called dancing. But yeah, I think it was firefighting, and I actually went to school for that for a little bit, but I realized I didn't like it. I couldn't do it every day for the rest of my life. And I still don't know what I want to do every day for the rest of my life. And I'm really good at barbering, but I don't know if I want to do it for the rest of my life.
You know what kind of like stuck with me, because just like you, I've always been artistic, creative in the art realm, which, yeah, it starts with like drawing as a kid, but you know, that kind of goes everywhere. That, you know, when you disperse that could be, you know, creative with, you know, cars and mechanics or I don't know, designer, you know, like the whole art is like as a foundation, as a core. Yeah, it could do so many things.
It's everything now.
Everything.
It's everything.
So being that I was always creative, whatever, but I always remember hearing people say, don't turn something you like into a career. I've heard that a lot, because I know, like, now I know, like, friends that were maybe good with automotive and mechanics, and they went into being a mechanic, and now they don't like to do it as a hobby no more.
They don't even have a car themselves.
Exactly.
So my grandpa used to tell me, because I always worked on cars, that we basketball, both of us got into cars through.
He liked basketball too?
He liked basketball, but no, me and you. We were into basketball, and then we kind of progressed into cars as we got older, and we started driving, we started building cars, racing cars. And when I was doing all these things to my cars, my grandfather was like, you should be a mechanic.
Yeah.
And I literally used to tell him back then, like, I don't want to get tired of it. I won't want to come home and work on my car.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful for barbering, because there was so long where I was dodging it because I didn't like touching people. I didn't want their hair on me. Like, I just didn't love doing it. I was good at it, but I didn't love it. And decided to take it serious, because no matter how hard I tried, I was making money from it. And then now that I'm so far in it, and I am where I am, and I built what I built, I respect it, I appreciate it, and I have a love for it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because I started out not loving it.
So to fast forward, but then we'll backtrack.
Yeah.
Something about barbering that, with me, and what I tell, you know, my coworkers and friends and family, I've never got tired of cutting hair. Like, even though I do the same haircuts all the time, I don't get tired of it. Like, I enjoy it, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always have friends that try to tell me to get into like doing tattoos and stuff because we're artistic. But I was like, I can't see myself doing tattoos I don't like. But I do haircuts I don't like all the time. And I guess me just being able to put my creative twist on it makes me like it. So I don't know what it...
You know...
Exactly. And
you see it. Ooh, I feel good right now.
And I don't know what it is that hasn't gotten me burnt out. Because I know plenty of barbers that have been doing it just as long, if not longer than me, that have gotten burnt out. I haven't got burnt out from it.
Because we're not barbers, we're artists.
There you go.
So...
Like, I feel like it's definitely therapeutic for you, bro.
Yeah.
Even when I was seeing you cut Lennon's hair, I seen it. Like, you just... I feel like when you're cutting hair, nothing else is really important in life.
Yeah.
Except the cut. Like, you really stay focused on that shit. And I feel like being an artist myself, when you're really focused on something at the task at hand, you really give it your all.
Yeah.
I could tell, even when Landon was cutting my hair, I could tell, like, you can see how focused somebody is.
Yeah.
And you can tell when a barber's just fucking around.
Yeah, but also you want to, like, I know with me, just say you had like the most arrogant client and whatever, I could never give someone a bad haircut. Yeah. Like, that's still a walking business card at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's my work. Like, even if I didn't like the person or whatever the case, the scenario is, I would still want to put my best effort in that haircut. You know what I'm saying? So it's
That's your work.
yeah,
That's your advertising.
What's gotten me to love it more is that now that I cut who I decide to cut, I care about all my clients, you know, in some way or another, where it's like, it is therapeutic because if I'm stressed, like today I was stressed about the podcast.
yeah,
And I took some haircuts on my day off. And it's just once I'm cutting, I'm sitting there talking with that person, and like you said,
Take your mind off of everything.
everything else in the world is gone for that moment.
yeah,
Even though I started out not liking it, no matter how I feel at that moment, that haircut's getting my all because it's a walking business card. It shows my work. If somebody walks out and somebody says, "Dang, your hair is pretty messed up," that's me.
But that shows it right there because you said you took haircuts on your day off. There's no mechanic that on his day off he's like, oh, let me just, you know, start fixing some clients' cars. It doesn't work like that. But you were able to just have a switch just like that to be like, yeah, I don't mind doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because it already comes natural for you to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm the same way. Like, I have a passion for it. Like, what day do I take off? I don't take a day off. You know what I'm saying? I work 7 days a week. But I do that because I know I have the ability to not work at all. We make our own schedules. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to work. I enjoy what I do, so I make my own schedule.
I say my day off, but day off means not cutting hair.
Yeah, exactly.
But I might be making content. I might be filming for YouTube. I might be filming the podcast like we are tonight. But it's always work.
Yeah.
It's always work because the age we're living in, we have to have that content.
And I think it's way harder because, I don't know, cutting hair is second nature, bro. I could do it in the dark. I could do it tired or whatever.
Was it you I was telling?
Yeah.
Bro, I could cut most people with my eyes closed almost now.
Yeah, I remember you seen you in the backyard, bro.
But when it comes, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to now, like our day and age, like creating social media, that's a whole other monster. Just learning social media, understanding how you want to maneuver, creating a style and making your presence known within social media. Like it's a whole other job. Like people don't think of the mental side of it, that you have to like plan accordingly, plan your posts, plan your design, you know, your story, your post, and every social media is different. You know what I'm saying? Like from YouTube to TikTok to Instagram.
Yeah, I was talking about in the first podcast with Strong Arm. Like we were lucky, bro. We were right there in that generation where we got to an age where we got introduced to social media right on the edge, where like if it would have waited a little bit longer to come out, we would have been like them old guys that just kind of fell behind.
Yeah.
But we got lucky where we got in it right at the beginning at a decent age to kind of hang in there. And now we're able to work with it and understand and keep up with the younger
also feel like
generation.
We also got F because we started at this age. Because I feel like the younger
100%.
people knew what it was for, and that's why you see kids making lots of money off playing video games on YouTube.
Some know what it's
You know what I'm
for.
saying? Some knew already, and us, we were more consumer. We see
Yeah.
it as, oh, let's just go on YouTube and watch videos. But there were people that seen it already.
Yeah.
I remember being in on MySpace, and YouTube was just starting to
Yeah,
come
just
up.
coming up.
Yeah.
I was just watching videos. I wasn't thinking about making content.
Yeah, you were thinking about making videos.
I didn't
Yeah.
think of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like when we were into the cars, you see these guys build one car, but they document it all on YouTube, and they get this following based on that one car. Like
Yeah.
that could have been us, but YouTube wasn't a thing when we were doing it.
Yeah.
Or we
But also,
we
weren't thinking about that too. We weren't thinking business.
When I had my
mentality.
fit, YouTube wasn't popping like that. Instagram wasn't popping like that. When we was going to these car meets, like me and my boys started one car meet. Like
Yeah.
we would meet up with these Volkswagen guys, and we were into Hondas, but we would meet up with these Volkswagen guys, and their demeanor was a little different than ours.
Yeah. Were they older or same age?
I'd say it was a mix. It was always a mix with the car stuff. But we were from Hollywood,
Yeah.
and like it's kind of crazy to say, but people from different areas down here grew up a little differently. So
Yeah,
like
that's
we're
for
from
sure.
Hollywood, we were into Hondas, they were into Volkswagens, which were a little more expensive, and they were from a place that their families and their parents or whoever had a little more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their vibe was different. So we left their car meet, we made a new car meet, it popped off. We could have made merch, we could have did all this stuff, but back then it wasn't something that seemed easily attainable
Yeah.
because social media wasn't at our fingertips. It
Yeah.
wasn't so easy.
But compared to like, I don't know, compared to like what he was saying, where I I don't feel like we got effed. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
we still here.
I like because we're in that mid range where we got the old school with the new school. We're in the middle because I feel like the old school guys left behind. The new school people don't have like the foundation we had. So I always like where that definitely has some disadvantages for sure. But I like our era that we could, just like with video games, like growing up, like I have video games, but I still go outside and play. These kids nowadays, all they have is video games. No one's going outside playing with their neighbor.
Yeah, definitely.
Not many, I can say.
Yeah.
There's still
There's always the difference, which is
The younger generations that embrace this shit and know what it's for excel way faster than we are.
yeah.
There's not as many of them. But yes, for us, we started from the bottom. We know what we want. We have that grind hustle mentality that, you know, we choose the hustle over sleep because we're trying to get somewhere. You know, I see a lot of younger generations, like, they don't even want to play full court basketball with us, bro.
Yeah.
And they're like 10 years younger than us. So it's laziness. There's a lot of laziness in the young generation. So we're not effed.
It's you know what it is? It's too much of the what is the entitlement?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people feel entitled, and I don't want to say it like it's a bad thing because it's almost like they had the disadvantage from the start because a lot of young parents wanted to give their kids what they didn't have, and then you kind of provided them with that sense of entitlement that right now everything's quicker internet, quicker everything has to be faster, everything has to be at your fingertips, where we had patience. When my parents told me to wait, I waited. When my parents told me if I'm good all year I'll get this for Christmas, I waited all year to get that for Christmas.
See, look,
I was on my best behavior.
Single mom, my mom told me, she used to tell me to choose. Do you want a bunch of little gifts or do you want one expensive gift?
Yeah.
So if I wanted that video game console, these kids get it and it's not even their birthday or Christmas. My mom used to say for Christmas, if you want that video game console, you're not getting a bunch of little stuff. You're only getting that video game console. And it's like, as a little kid, I have to choose. And that's some shit kids don't have no more.
But it's something with the way we were raised too, because I'm fortunate, like I really haven't had problems with my kid, but I've also kind of raised her the way I was raised, I guess with a modern twist to it.
Yeah.
But you know, like as a kid, my parents told me something and I listened. It wasn't no talking back, where nowadays I just notice so many kids like talking back to their parents, trying to get their way. Exactly, just not settling with what their parents say. I would never question what my parents say. You looked at your parents as like a god figure, like, yo, what they said is what they said, and that's what it is.
Well,
you know?
not anymore. They don't look like that.
Yeah, not now.
But this is a perfect topic to drop me to the next question. So these youngins, we feel like not all of them, but a lot of them feel that entitlement. They don't have that work ethic. They don't not necessarily worship their parents, but don't look at their parents as that figure that they try to learn from. And you know. So the next question is, how did you make a living after high school? Even though you thought you wanted to play basketball, you didn't know 100% what you wanted to do, because there was eventually you realized basketball wasn't going to be it.
Yeah.
How did you make a living after high school? What were you doing for work?
So from basketball, along that same line, getting the cars and I think I got a job pretty early on. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather passed away when I was like 12. So basically raised by my grandmother. And being that, she came from another country, you know what I'm saying? She came from Europe. So she was used to the husband doing everything. So when he passed away, she had to learn how to pay bills, manage money, things that she wasn't used to, very old school.
Real shit right there.
You know what I'm saying? So I seen her very much keep her composure, you know what I'm saying? I can imagine inside she was probably destroyed, but after he passed away, her learning to do everything and providing for me and giving me a lot with not having much, you know what I'm saying? With not letting me see how little we have. But her giving me that was, she instilled like hard work ethic and things like that upon me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like being in the basketball, getting in the cars a little bit, her instilling that hard work ethic on me. I got a job pretty early. I want to say 16, maybe 17. I started working at little McDonald's. I started working at McDonald's. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, so I started working at McDonald's, which was kind of weird. I don't know why it fell into that, but I was a cashier and most of the men were working as cooks. So they made me a cashier, something they said I had a good personality for it, you know, just talking with customers and
customer
things like that.
service.
Yeah, so I did that. But so whether you think McDonald's is good or bad, whatever, I was young having a job and a lot of my friends didn't have jobs. So to me it was like which all the other kids that had jobs, it was cool to wear like your uniform to school. coming to high school dressed in
Yeah, 'cause
McDonald's
you're getting that
uniform.
money and they weren't
But
getting
you
that
knew
money.
you were getting that money. It wasn't about the job or what job it was.
How
It
much
was like you were young and getting
money,
paid.
they
The
weren't.
fact that you already were getting bread, why
And
everybody was still
Exactly. So hand in hand with that, me being one of the younger ones that had a car. So now we were in high school too with a car when not everyone had that. You know what I'm saying?
Since you definitely started working before everybody.
Exactly. So besides that, so a lot of little jobs like that, advanced auto parts. A job that kind of set me apart was I started working at Home Depot, and this is crazy because I had a client tell me recently.
Dang, bro. I'm glad I
Yo-
got these questions because I know
So-
you for so long. I have no idea, bro.
So working at Home Depot, I was getting paid good. So I don't know what's good nowadays, but then I was getting paid $17 an hour working outside with shopping carts. So they would have paid me easily another $2, $3 to go inside, but I didn't. And I know I had a client recently tell me, yo, I got a job at Home Depot. They pay so good, they pay $10 an hour. I was getting paid
What?
17 at 17.
and hold
You're
on.
making money. You're making
That was
money.
what? 15, 16, 17 years ago?
Before time.
Yeah, before fucking time. What you mean?
And now things are more expensive and they're making less.
How crazy, right? How crazy.
Wow.
Damn.
So being at that job, getting paid way more than most of my friends, getting paid very well, I had definitely way more money than a lot of my friends. You know what I'm saying? Also, that's when I got financed my first car, things like that. It kind of like catapulted me to having more money and I don't know, just being able to experience more things at a younger age because I had the money for it, you know?
Okay, so you worked jobs like me.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get a job till I was 18. I applied and applied and applied when I was in my senior year of school. I had to go
Where?
to
Just
night
all type
school.
of jobs? Just any jobs?
I applied at everything, bro. I was on my BMX, bro, applying. I promise you, bro. There was one time I had to put in like 50 applications in
Yeah.
a couple weeks. I was so.
And these are applications. These are paper applications.
Oh yeah, you can't do it online no more.
This is online. You gotta.
Yeah, you can do it online now, but Publix was like the only one. You go stand in the store at a screen.
Yeah.
Publix is the dream job I wanted that never called me back. I
they
don't know how many
never
times I
called-
applied for them.
They never called me back. I have friends working at that, and they're doing great in life, bro. They moved up.
Yeah.
They got stock in Publix.
Stock in Publix.
They take care of them. They bought a house recently. I haven't even bought a house.
Why do you think I showed up in my girl's type art?
She works at Publix?
She works at Publix.
Wow.
She's a manager there.
Oh, see, there you go, bro. Yo, Publix takes care of their people, man.
They do.
If you want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
But
Ain't nothing like a pub sub.
I applied everywhere, bro. And then we had the cars. We were doing the cars, man. And I had a system. I think I had like a 15-inch L7 kicker in my trunk, bro. And I needed like a fuse or some wiring or something, some RCAs. So I went to Radio Shack. My mom brought me over there. And I was getting the part I
Yeah, I
needed.
remember you working at Radio Shack.
She made me.
remember him wearing
She
that.
asked the manager, and I had applied at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
She talked to the manager, and the manager's like, apply again. And
That's that mom strength right there.
bro.
Got your application to the top.
I don't understand. I applied. I got a call back. I didn't end up working at that Radio Shack, but I got a job at Radio Shack, and it wasn't that great of money, but I was in the AC. I like electronic shit.
Yeah.
I like technology, so it was easy.
Yeah.
You know.
Still, it provides work experience regardless.
Yeah, it provided so much customer service experience. I worked there 5 years, man. And then Radio Shack, I could feel it started going under. And they were like cutting my hours,
Are
and
they still open now or they closed down?
they opened back up.
They closed down, open back?
They have
What?
a handful of random stores that they opened up,
Yeah.
and they're back online.
Wow.
But
The one where you used to work at right there by Picture Penny in there.
I didn't
no,
work
I'm
at that
sure.
one.
I'm sure there's
You
very
know the
few.
one right there by Winn-Dixie?
No, Sheridan Plaza.
I could have sworn I seen you.
I helped at that one sometimes.
The one on tap?
I worked there so long, I was doing manager shit without the manager pay because they wanted me to be manager, and
Yeah.
they paid less to be manager
Yeah.
than I was making commission.
That's how you save. That's how they save money, bro. That's how
Yeah.
corporates save money.
But then you got better benefits.
Of course.
But I was a kid. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get sick. So, I mean, I'm glad I didn't go up in it, man. I guess my head was on my shoulders because they died out, bro. Like, what would I imagine if I got regional manager and they just died? Like,
And you gave it your all.
I gave it my all, bro. I was there 5 years, and then I went to to Tennessee to do contracting for a company that was a contracting company for AT&T.
That was from Radio Shack to that?
From Radio Shack to that.
Yeah.
So I didn't have many jobs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like people over me, especially people over me that like were older than me, and I felt like, how do you not know something already and you're an adult, like you're older than me?
You know what tripped me out? So I had a bunch of like little jobs like that. But what always tripped me out is that I would notice that my coworkers, this is a career for them, so they took it so serious. For me, it was always just a job. It was just a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it was.
So that's why I never got too bothered. Like if managers would crab about something or whatever, I was always like, nah, whatever. Where I would see other people get really bent over and upset over that, and I was like, to me, it didn't bother me. But I think back now, I'm like, that was their career. For me, this was like, I might be gone in a couple of days. I don't know. You know?
I actually thought that back then. I was kind of a weird young person because I would always put myself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
And nowadays, because people are so sensitive, they would say you're judging people.
Yeah.
But really, in my mind, I was trying to learn from them before I got to their age.
Yeah.
So when I have somebody that's old enough to be my father managing me at a Radio Shack, but I had the opportunity to be manager, it let me know that I wanted more. I didn't want to have children and be that old working at Radio Shack. Even though there's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
me personally, I want something different, something more.
But so it's also like, I feel like that's a personal goal thing, because I used to struggle a lot with having like my coworkers, having them like not have a drive to grow or whatever. And I step back and I kind of realize, I'm like, the analogy I always use is like, say you work at McDonald's, which I did, and say you were working the fries, right? Which you would say that's the bottom of the job, you know what I'm saying, making fries. If you're happy
That's
doing
the best part.
If you're happy doing the fries, that's cool. But if you're doing the fries and you want to be manager, that's a problem, because you need to make efforts to move up. But if you're happy doing the fries, I almost envy you to have that simplicity of life that you're okay doing that.
100%.
It's not wrong. I just not built that way.
No, I'm not either. And I see so many people that I wish I could be as simple as them, because I want to minimalize my life. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, the bus is a headache. The bus is something that I'm looking to buy a house, and I have to make sure I buy a house that I can park this bus, or I got to put this bus somewhere, or I have to pay to park it, and just like it's a burden. So like sometimes I think, man, I envy somebody that can just go to a job, work, find another way of making money, have this freedom where they're not 24 hours working their business.
Yeah.
But
Your mind
at the
is on
same
Yeah.
time, I have to remind myself I want so much, and this is my way, and I'm trusting the process.
Yeah.
But shit, man.
So to backtrack a little bit then, just to see how the barbering got kind of into there. So I don't know why, I don't even exactly know my exact age, but I was young, maybe like 10 or something like that. I remember being at my cousin's house, who I was very close with. We were all like lined up in age. And I remember their mom used to cut their hair. I remember it coming up like she was gonna cut their hair, and I was like, I could do it. Like fully confident, never have done it before. And I remember picking up the clippers and cutting the hair, probably doing a hack job. I don't even remember, you know what I'm saying? But being at a young age doing that, and it sparked like a little interest in me in cutting hair, you know? So that started becoming a trend of cutting their hair more often, getting better. And I don't know, I guess developing some type of interest in that, into barbering, to cutting hair, which again, it goes with the whole artsy, with being creative, with things like that. So just from that point, that became a side thing. So now through all these jobs, from McDonald's to Home Depot, I worked at the Hard Rock doing valet. All these jobs building up a barber clientele on the side, where everyone's like, who does your haircut? Oh, I do my own haircut. Oh, can you do my haircut? And it's always like, yeah. Never thinking about it being a career, but being a little bit passionate about doing it on the side, like kind of enjoying the transformation on people.
Wow. So what got me into it is, bro, it's like you know the order of these questions though. But right, he's steering us right into the next question. We're not there yet. But for me, I would cut my own hair because my mom couldn't afford to take me to the barbershop as often as I liked my hair cut. So what I do is I I was at Walmart. I seen this little clipper set where it came with all the guards.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a wall clipper, a cheap wall clipper, and all the guards. And I had her buy it for me. It was like $25, and I think they still sell it at Walmart. It's like $25.
Yeah.
Bro. And I still have that clipper.
I think I know you're talking
I have that same clipper, bro.
Yeah.
The only one. And I would go get a haircut, and I would stand there in the mirror, and I would put the guard on, and I would go until it cut.
Yeah.
And I would constantly go over my fade until I figured out the guards that area needed.
Yeah.
And I started cutting my own hair. And it obviously didn't come out good at first, but
Yeah.
I was cutting my own hair. It was better than Supercuts,
Yeah.
for sure. And my friends would be like, yo, because it would be cut always. Like,
Yeah.
it never grew back.
Like, why do you always have a
Like,
first
why
cut?
the fuck?
They're like, yo, where you get your haircut, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, I do it. And this is in high school.
Yeah.
And my friends would be like,
So,
"Bruh, cut my hair."
was there some point that you just stopped going to the barbershop at all and you just did it yourself completely? Or were you still going in between those self cuts?
I stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know when. It's kind of blurry, but I did stop.
Yeah.
And I think when I stopped is when I started cutting other people. And it took those people to kind of beg me, though. Because, like we said, we grew up in Hollywood and we didn't have as much money
Yeah.
as some of these other cities. And these people were also like, yo, cut my hair. You're my friend. Thinking they're going to get a free cut. And
Yeah.
obviously they did, because I thought I was going to fuck their hair up.
Yeah.
So it was one friend, and I still cut him to this day, bro. Every week. Man, I appreciate my clients so much.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
of course.
I cut him every week. He would tell me, yo, if you can cut your own hair, you can cut my hair, bro. And I'm like, all right. I didn't have no trimmers. I didn't have no shaver.
Yeah.
I have no straight razor. It was literally just the clippers. I was doing the tapes with clippers, bro.
Yeah.
And I would cut him up. It was for free. I cut him up. I don't even, honestly, looking back, I don't even know who the next person was, but
It's crazy how without money it's still paying you an experience though.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
did so many free haircuts, and then it turned to $10 because it was too many people, and I was just like, yo, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I gotta be making money off
I
this.
can't be doing this shit for free no more.
And then when I really started cutting a lot, I was working at Radio Shack, and it got to be so many people. I literally told them all. By this time, I think I got a trimmer, and it was literally a brush, the clipper, the guards, not even in the in-between guards,
Yeah.
which I need now. I won't cut without them. And the trimmer. There was still no straight razor.
Yeah. It's like
And I would tell
minimalism
them
at its finest.
Thursday nights, if you're not in front of my house, at my garage,
Yeah.
you're not getting a cut. There's no order. First come, first serve.
Yeah.
Bro, motherfuckers was lined up.
Yeah, dog.
And
Especially when your cuts like half off at the
Yeah,
barbershop
for
back
real.
in the day.
my wife, which was just my girlfriend at the time, she was going to college at Florida Golf Coast, which is on the other side of Florida. And I would work full time at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
And then I would cut hair for hours on Thursday
Yeah.
night.
Full time after hours.
Friday, I would work at Radio Shack. And then right after Radio Shack, I would dip to Fort Myers and go
Yeah.
spend time with my girl for the weekend. And the money I was spending while I was spending time with her was only the barber money. I was not spending Radio Shack
Yo,
money.
that's entrepreneurship at its finest though.
So I kept doing it. Obviously, like when you're making money like that, you're gonna keep doing it. And eventually it got to the point where I went to Memphis, and then when I came back, I worked a job where they talked to me the wrong way, and I quit after a week, and then I just started taking the barber shit serious. But that's what leads me into the next question. And the next question is,